Oh, yes, that happens to many English learners. Sometimes the sentence sounds correct in our mind, but in real English, there might be a small mistake that changes everything.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, many students around the world make the same mistakes again and again, even when they already know a lot of English words.
That's very true. But the good news is that most of these mistakes are actually very small and very easy to fix once you understand how English sentences really work.
So today we are going to talk about some of the most common English mistakes beginners make, and we will also show you the simple and correct way to say those sentences.
And don't worry, this will not be a boring grammar lesson. We are going to learn through real conversation, examples, and a little bit of fun practice together.
Yes. By the end of this video, you will know several common mistakes and you will feel much more confident speaking English in daily conversations.
So, if you are ready to improve your English and avoid these common mistakes, let's get started.
Okay, Chris, let's start with a very common mistake that many English learners make when they want to say they agree with someone.
Oh, I think I know this one. Is it the sentence, I am agree?
Yes, exactly. Many students say, I am agree, because in some languages that structure sounds correct, but in English we actually don't use am with the word agree.
That's right. The correct and natural way to say it is simply, I agree. It's short, simple, and it sounds much more natural in English conversation.
Let's try a small example so everyone understands it clearly. Imagine your friend says, This pizza is amazing.
Then you can smile and say, yes, I agree. This pizza is really delicious.
Perfect example, and now it sounds like real natural English.
That's so true. Many learners try to translate a sentence directly from their own language into English. And when that happens, the sentence can sound a little strange, even though the meaning is clear.
Exactly. But the good news is that once you hear the correct sentence a few times and practice it in real conversation, your brain slowly starts to remember the natural pattern.
Yes, and after some time, you don't even need to think about the rule anymore because the sentence will just come out naturally when you speak.
All right, Chris, let's look at another mistake that we hear from English learners almost every single day when they talk about their daily routine or something that another person does regularly.
Ah, I think I know which mistake you are talking about. Because many students forget one very small letter when they are speaking quickly.
That's right. Many learners say a sentence like, he go to school every day, and even though we understand the meaning, something about the sentence sounds slightly incomplete.
Yes, because when we talk about he, she, or it, the verb usually needs a small change in the present tense, and that change is simply adding the letter S at the end of the verb.
So instead of saying, he go to school every day, the correct and natural sentence is, he goes to school every day.
It's such a tiny difference, but that small letter makes the sentence sound much more natural to native English speakers.
Let's try another example so everyone listening can clearly see the pattern we are talking about.
Great idea.
Imagine you want to talk about your sister and her job, and you say something like, she work in a hospital.
The meaning is clear, but the correct sentence should be, she works in a hospital. Because again, we add that small s to the verb.
Exactly. And when you start paying attention to this pattern, you will notice it everywhere in English conversations.
That's interesting because sometimes learners already know this rule when they study grammar. But when they start speaking in real time, they forget to add that small letter,
Yes, speaking fast can make us forget small grammar details, and that's completely normal when you are learning a new language.
which is why the best solution is simply practice and exposure. Because the more English you hear, the more natural these patterns become.
All right, Chris, let's move to another mistake that many learners make when they want to express that they like something very much.
Oh, yes, I've heard this one many times in English classes.
Many learners say something like, I very like this movie, because they are trying to emphasize how much they enjoy it.
The sentence is understandable, but native English speakers usually say it in a slightly different way.
Exactly. Instead of saying, I very like this movie, a much more natural sentence would be, I really like this movie.
Or another common way to say it is, I like this movie very much, which also sounds very natural in everyday conversation.
Let's imagine a small situation so our listeners can hear how this sentence works in real life.
All right.
Imagine your friend recommends a movie and asks you later if you enjoyed it.
You could smile and say something like, "Yes, I really liked that movie. The story was very interesting and the characters were amazing."
That sounds like a perfect natural response.
Yes, and it feels much more comfortable than saying, "I very like this movie."
Exactly. Small changes like this can make your English sound much more natural and confident.
Okay, Sarah, I have another interesting mistake that beginners often make when they ask questions.
Oh, really? I'm curious to hear this one.
Sometimes learners say something like, "where you are going," because they are translating the sentence structure from their own language.
Yes, that's a very common mistake, and the words themselves are correct, but the order of the words is not correct for an English question.
In English questions, the helping verb usually comes before the subject. So the correct sentence becomes, "Where are you going?"
Exactly, and once you hear this structure many times, it becomes very easy to remember.
Let's try another quick example.
Good idea.
Instead of saying, "You are busy," the natural question would be, "Are you busy?"
That sounds much smoother and more natural in conversation.
Yes, and people will immediately understand your question.
All right, Chris, let's talk about one more mistake that beginners often make when they want to talk about their age. Many learners say something like, I have 25 years, which sounds normal in some languages but not in English.
In English, we don't use have when we talk about age.
Instead, we use the verb to be.
So the correct sentence would be, "I am 25 years old."
Or in casual conversation, you can simply say, I'm 25.
Yes, that's actually what most people say in everyday conversations.
Let's imagine you meet someone new at a party and you are introducing yourself.
You might say something like, "Hi, my name is David. I'm 25 years old and I work as a designer."
That sounds like a very natural introduction.
Yes, and it's a simple way to start a conversation with someone new.
When you look at these examples, you can see that the mistakes are not big problems.
Exactly, they are small changes that can make your English sound much more natural and confident.
And the best way to improve is to listen carefully and practice these correct sentences again and again.
Because the more you practice, the easier it becomes to speak without thinking too much about grammar.
All right, everyone. Now it's time for something a little more interesting, because listening to English is helpful, but the real improvement happens when you actually start using the sentences yourself and practice speaking them out loud.
That's absolutely true. And the great thing about practicing simple sentences like these is that they are the same sentences people use every day in real conversations. So once you get comfortable with them, speaking English becomes much easier and much more natural.
So here is what we are going to do together. We will take the correct sentences we learned today and turn them into small, real-life situations, the kind of situations you might experience when you talk to friends, meet new people, or simply have a casual conversation.
Exactly, because learning sentences inside a situation helps your brain remember them much faster than simply memorizing grammar rules.
Let's imagine a simple situation. You and your friend are sitting in a cafe, talking about a movie you both watched last night, and your friend suddenly says, "That movie was amazing. I loved the story and the acting."
Now, this is the perfect moment to use the sentence we learned earlier. You can smile and reply naturally by saying, "Yes, I agree with you. The movie was really interesting and the ending surprised me."
Notice how smooth and natural that sounds compared to saying something like, I am agree, which many beginners accidentally say.
Exactly. And the more you hear and repeat sentences like this, the more natural they will start to feel when you speak English.
Let's look at another small, everyday situation. Imagine you are talking about your sister or your brother, and someone asks you where they work.
Instead of saying, "She work in a hospital," you can answer in a much more natural way by saying, "She works in a hospital and she really loves her job because she helps people every day."
That sentence is slightly longer, but it sounds very natural and friendly in conversation.
And longer sentences like that help you express your ideas much more clearly when you speak English.
Exactly. English is not just about saying correct words, it's about creating sentences that sound natural and comfortable in conversation.
All right, Emily. Let's imagine one more situation that many learners experience when they meet someone new.
Good idea.
Imagine you are at a small party or a social event, and someone new walks up to you and starts a conversation by asking a very common question. How old are you?
Many beginners quickly translate from their own language and say something like, I have 25 years. But now you know the correct way to answer.
Exactly. You can simply say, I'm 25 years old, and then maybe continue the conversation by adding something about yourself.
For example, you could say, I'm 25 years old, and I recently started learning English because I want to travel and meet people from different countries.
That sounds like a very natural introduction, and it immediately gives the other person something interesting to talk about.
Yes, and that's the real goal of learning English, not just knowing words, but being able to connect with people and share ideas.
And remember, everyone who speaks English fluently today started exactly where you are right now, making small mistakes and slowly learning the correct way to say things.
The difference is that they kept practicing and kept speaking, even when they felt a little unsure.
Now, before we finish today's lesson, we want to give you a small challenge that will help you practice what you learned in this video.
Yes, and this challenge is actually very simple, but it can help you improve your English much faster.
We want you to go to the comment section below this video and write one simple sentence about yourself in English, using the correct sentence structures we talked about today.
For example, you might write something like, My name is Carlos, I'm from Mexico, and I really like learning English.
Or you could write something like, I'm 22 years old, I work in a small company, and I enjoy watching movies in English.
You can write any sentence you want, but here's the important part of the challenge.
Try your best not to make the mistakes we talked about today.
That means no, I am agree, no, I very like, and remember to add that small s when you talk about he or she.
We will actually read the comments after this video, and we are very curious to see where everyone watching is from and what kind of sentences you write.
Yes, and it's always amazing to see people from different countries learning English together in the same place.
Sometimes the comment section becomes like a small global classroom where everyone is practicing and helping each other improve.
So before you leave this video, take just 30 seconds, scroll down to the comments, and write one simple sentence about yourself.
We promise we will read as many comments as we can, and maybe we will even feature some of them in a future video.
And if you enjoyed learning with us today and want to keep improving your English step by step, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next lesson.
Also give this video a like, because when you do that, YouTube shows the video to more English learners who might need this lesson.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today and practicing English together.
Keep learning, keep speaking, and remember that every small step brings you closer to speaking English confidently.
We'll see you in the next lesson. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.